Mike McDaniel is 38 years old. He identifies himself as multiracial, and he got hired with the Miami Dolphins. You know, the Miami Dolphins, for being a racist organization, according to a fired coach, sure seem to be going out of their way, or maybe not even going out of their way, but they sure seem to have a pretty good record of diversity hiring, at least in their football people. General manager, African-American. Assistant general manager, African-American. Vice president of player personnel. Basically, the guy that is not necessarily in charge of the general manager, but works in conjunction with the general manager, African-American. The previous coach, African-American. And now the new coach, multiracial. I'm telling you what. If the Miami Dolphins are not diverse in their hiring, they haven't figured it out yet. I mean, I get it. Brian Flores, lawsuit, good for him. But damn, I don't know if that holds water or not. I don't know if that matters or not. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out when Fred Vianna joins us, who's an attorney. I'm guessing it doesn't, but my God, if you're going to go after an organization and their hiring practices, I think maybe, just maybe, the Miami Dolphins aren't the right one. Now, if you want to go after the Miami Dolphins owner because you're saying that he offered you $100K, hey, God bless you. But I mean, in terms of diverse hiring, I don't know, man. Maybe Brian Flores ought to look himself in the eye. Maybe Brian Flores ought to say, what the hell did I do here? Brian Flores' lawsuit got weird. I'll get into that in a minute. Got really weird. He's not even happy that Lovie Smith got hired. He says Lovie Smith got hired over him because of his lawsuit. Well, you think? I mean, you think? Look, last thing I need in an organization, and again, I'm going to go back to this. Billionaires. They don't give a damn about your lawsuit. They give a damn about the look of the lawsuit. They're not going to change their practices because you're mad you got fired. Hey, look. I guarantee all these billionaires have been fired. They understand getting fired. They understand the mentality of being mad. Speaking of that, Lovie Smith got hired. Now, look, I don't know whether Lovie Smith's great or not, but you did hire a guy that, I don't know. You did hire a guy in Lovie Smith that's been to a Super Bowl. You did hire a guy that's been there. You did hire a guy that people, I don't know, think is a great dude to have around your operation. Yeah, I don't know what happened at the end of the Bears. I feel like when you get to the Bears, you're eventually going to get fired. I mean, look at the Bears. Did I see this right? They've missed the playoffs 9 out of 11 times. 9 out of 11. Now, I want you to think about that. That's Lovie Smith's fault? Look, I don't know where Lovie Smith is great. I don't know where Lovie Smith isn't great. I have no idea. But I know this. The Texans were either going to hire him or Josh McDaniel. And you ain't hiring Josh McDaniel. And I'm not talking about because he's the fair-haired white boy. I'm talking about because he's never coached in the NFL. It's a little different coaching in the NBA. If you hire Josh McDaniel, I don't give a damn how beloved he is in that city. You can't hire Josh McDaniel. Tell Josh McDaniel go be a coordinator. Figure it out. Maybe the Texans did give in. Maybe they did. So what? It's their prerogative, their organization. At least they gave in with a guy that was coach of the year in the NFL in 2005. At least they gave in to a guy that actually is beloved by everybody he's ever worked with. Now, it didn't work out at Illinois, but hell, it never works out on college campuses when former pro coaches go to middling jobs. Now, when former pro coaches that won national championships come back to Alabama, that's a little different. But let me give you the Brian Flores reaction. This is where I lost respect for this. Listen to this. However, we would be remiss. This is Brian Flores' attorney, some guy named Wigdor and Elefakardis. Mr. Flores we're all supposed to acquiesce to Mr. Flores now. Okay, we got to have Mr. Flores sign off on a fired coach. That's like me having to sign off on every MAC coach that's hired. So right now we have to, this kind of started pissing me off, by the way. Right now, because Brian Flores got his feelings hurt. I mean, let's be honest. filed a lawsuit. Now we're all supposed to acquiesce to Mr. Flores. Mr. Flores is happy to hear that the Texans have hired a black head coach, Lovie Smith. Oh, great. We're glad, Mr. Flores. As Mr. Flores' goal in bringing his case is to provide real opportunities for black and minority candidates to be considered for coaching and executive positions within the NFL. Well, let me stop there. Flores was already a head coach without even being a coordinator. Flores worked for an assistant GM, African American. Flores worked for a GM, African American. Flores worked for a senior vice president of player personnel, African American. I mean, what do you want? I mean, I get it that these things are going on, and hopefully they find out. But Mr. Flores and us answering to him is bullshit. However, because Mr. Flores needs to be, we have to acquiesce to him because he put the lawsuit out there. However, we would be remiss not to mention that Mr. Flores was one of 3 finalists for the Texans head coaching position. After a great interview, these are lawyers speaking, and mutual interest, it's obvious the only reason Mr. Flores was not selected was his decision to stand up against racial inequality across the NFL. Maybe. But what this does is this puts Flores in a perfect victim light. And now he gets to sit back and reap the rewards of victimhood. Who's to say? And let me tell you what every guy that runs a business, black or white, is saying right now. You're damn right I ain't hiring you. I don't know, Flores, so I don't know what I would do. But I'm just telling you. You don't need somebody in your organization that you have got to appease at every moment, particularly when he ain't the owner or the president or the CEO. I mean, you just don't. I mean, let's be honest. I like this lawsuit. You feel like you have a thing. Good, go. But we don't have to. Nobody has to answer to Mr. Flores every time somebody's hired. And it's an insult. I don't give a damn how he words this. It's an insult to Lovie Smith. What are the lawyers going to say? Oh, we had a horse shit interview. Nah, it was horse shit. Nah, it didn't go good. Everybody now that hires somebody in the NFL is supposed to acquiesce to Brian Flores. I read somewhere, and this is the misinformation you get, Flores was fired after multiple 10-win seasons. No, he wasn't. He had one 10-win season. And I used to tell Bob Knight this, when you're a pain in the ass behind the scenes, which I don't know whether he was or wasn't, it eventually, the people that you are working for get tired of it. I'm living proof of it. Living proof. And I'm a white guy. I am living proof of be too controversial, do whatever, hey, gone. I was great behind this. People that work with me love working with me. But when it causes a little too much, I got to damage control, then you got to go. Nobody's got to answer to Brian Flores for who the hell you hire. You're going to have to answer in a lawsuit, and we're going to get into that lawsuit. It's obvious that the only maybe it's obvious, I don't know, that Lovie Smith had been there. Maybe it's obvious that Lovie Smith made an impression on the people of the Texans. Like white guys are going to jump up and down. Well, yeah, Flores got screwed. No, he didn't. You don't get screwed in these situations. You don't. You got 3 candidates. You got a guy that's hiring. The guy that's hiring, who he hired, who in the hell he wanted to hire. Period. You think you're a better candidate? God bless you. And don't think for a second, I've said this forever, don't think for a second that you get treated the same way as the hot upcoming assistant when you're 38 years old, Brian Flores, and you're interviewing for jobs, and you got the pedigree to Belichick. Don't think you get treated that way when you're now 40-something, just been fired, and filing a lawsuit.